Well, howdy, I'm John Mark Dempsey, and we're having a second cup of coffee conversation here with Ronnie Wilson, who is our Hopkins County Master Gardener, one of many Hopkins County Master Gardeners, but he's good enough to come out and spend some time with us. And we're going to talk about wildflowers, because I don't know if many people know this. People think of wildflowers coming up in the spring. Mm-hmm. But if you wait until the spring to plant them,
it's too late.
You've waited too long. So now is the time to put out the seeds if you're going to try to have wildflowers.
In the spring, yes. You need to plant now. Once the temperatures cool off a little bit, this is the time to plant them. The wildflower seeds need a lot of soaking winter rains to soften the coating on the seeds so that they are able to sprout in the spring.
Mm-hmm. And not only that, aren't you supposed to scratch them up? They call it scarify. You need to kind of rough them up a little bit.
Some seeds, yes. Bluebonnets especially. The seed coating is so hard that it needs a little help, a little abrasion on there.
But the thing is, now is the time if you want them to come up in the spring.
Plant now, and then 5 months, 6 months, it'll be that long till spring. You will see some wildflowers coming up.
Yeah. Now, we were talking before the cameras and the microphones went on. It's not the easiest thing in the world to find wildflower seeds.
No, it's not. Typically, your hardware stores, big box stores, garden centers, they don't really carry wildflower seeds. The best place is the Lady Bird Johnson Wildflower Center in Fredericksburg, Texas. And they really have acres and acres of wildflowers growing. They have dozens, maybe hundreds of different types of wildflowers in the seeds. They have a website. It's www.wildflower.org, and it's a great place to visit.
Mm-hmm. Of course, Lady Bird Johnson did a lot to promote wildflowers in her time as First Lady, and the fact that we see more along the highways now probably has a lot to do with
I think so.
What she did. So you say in the notes that you kindly provided major soil preparation is not necessary, so that's good news.
Yes. Well, look at where the wildflowers grow. The side of the roads. I mean, how much attention does that area get?
And they just throw the seeds out there pretty much?
Yes,
the highway department?
Now, if you want to plant a wildflower garden, a couple of steps you can take to help things along. Mow everything as low as you can. Scrape with a rake, maybe a little bit, just to break up some of the soil. Mm-hmm. The seeds sometimes are very small, so it's recommended you mix half seed and half sand to aid in spreading. Just kind of sprinkle it around, spread it evenly, water it lightly, and then just sit back and wait till spring.
Yeah, you mentioned winter rains, and also I think maybe before we turned on the mics, we were talking about the drought.
Yes.
So if we don't get a lot of winter rains, I guess you can help it along by watering yourself.
Maybe. I don't know.
It doesn't sound too promising.
No. The meteorologist on Channel 5 last week or the week before mentioned that our bluebonnet crop in the spring may be smaller in 2025 due to the drought, because wildflowers take a lot of the wet, dry cycles over the winter to establish themselves and grow.
Yeah. In your notes here it says it may take 2 to 3 years for seeds planted now to become well established.
Yes.
But once established, they will grow for years. We've planted bluebonnet seeds for several years, and I've never yet seen a bluebonnet come up. But that gives me hope. Maybe they'll yet show up one of these years.
Well, the seeds are so hard. Sometimes they will be in the ground a year or maybe even 2 before they finally get enough rain on them to sprout.
Right. So you have a list of wildflowers commonly seen in Hopkins County. Of course, bluebonnets top the list.
Yes.
Indian paintbrush, we have those on our property, and we planted those years ago, and they've done extremely well. Black-eyed Susan comes up without our even doing a thing. They just show up. What is Mexican hat?
It's similar to the Indian paint, just a little different coloration.
I see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the flowers look similar.
I laughed at one of your items here, hairy vetch.
Yes.
That sounds odd.
There's two types of vetch that I know of. One's plain vetch and another's hairy vetch. Hairy vetch seems to have a little purplish flower, and I see that along the side of the roads.
We may have that. That may be what we have. We have some purple things that come up. Texas thistle.
Like thistle. It's just a variety of thistle.
Yeah. And sunflowers, now I kind of think of sunflowers as similar to black-eyed Susans. Of course, they're taller.
Right.
And you have to plant sunflowers
Yes.
pretty much. I mean, they're not just going to come up.
Well, once you get them started, once you have a season or two, they grow by themselves. We have quite a sunflower garden on our place.
Do you?
And the birds come and what seeds they don't eat drop, propagate themselves, and we have sunflowers year after year.
Okay.
One other plant, wildflower that I've seen driving in today was Queen Anne's lace.
Yep.
And we talked about that
Right.
earlier in the summer.
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot more since we
Yes,
talked
yes.
about it. I have seen that in the last few days too. Okay, so now's the time if you're going to put some seed out for wildflowers.
Yes. Put them out and hope for rain.
Very good. All right, Ronnie, thanks for having a second cup of coffee.
You're quite welcome.
Ronnie Wilson is Hopkins County Master Gardener, and I'm John Mark Dempsey, and this is KSST.